Okay, so the very last point, and we're ending good timing. See Divine Mother in those that you serve. So this is so important, and to not just serve at people, but offer. Your service should be offering to the divine in them. See the highest in them. Even if they're foolish or in error or someone that you've had a difficult time with, just serve because God loves them, and you serve that highest in them. And realize that teach that love. There's the beautiful story from the life of St. Francis, who was walking along the countryside, and he had an anathema about lepers, which were common in those days. And he's walking down a little, wandering through the countryside, and he sees approaching him a man horribly afflicted with leprosy, and his face is all eaten away and horrible, and his nose is gone, and half of his face is gone. And Francis's first instinct is to run away. And then he says, no, God's in that leper as well. And he approaches him, and he takes him, and he embraces him. And in that moment, the leper was transformed, and he found in his arms, he was embracing Christ. And if we approach everyone we meet in that way, I had an interesting experience myself along these lines where I wrote about it in a recent blog where, again, this was when I was living, before Jyotish and I were married, I was living alone in a little trailer. And in those days, we had no means of communication, no phones, no cell phones. Though, if anything happened, you were on your own. And we all lived quite distant from each other. And one night, it was quite a stormy night outside, raining and windy, and the little trailer was kind of shuddering. And I was at home with the kerosene lamp, which I had, and I was reading the Bible. And all of a sudden, there's this pounding on my door. And I thought, in the night, it's dark. I thought, who could this be in the middle of the night? And I very tentatively opened the door, and there was this strange man standing there. He said, "Can I come in?" And I thought, oh, Lord. But I never felt, I instinctively felt there's something going on here that it's not what the eyes see. So I said, yes, come in, sit down. He said, I'm hungry. Do you have anything to eat? And I had a little food, and I gave it to him. And then he finished, and he said, do you have anything to drink? And I gave him some water, is all I had. And then he started calming down. Then he pulled up his sleeve, and he said, I have these really bad sores on my arm. And he showed me, and indeed he had these big sores on his arm. I don't know what it was. And then he said, I like it here. And I thought, okay. But again, I never felt frightened. I always thought there's something else going on here. And then he just said, I have to go now. And he just got up and left. And then I was sort of stunned for a while. Then I opened the Bible to continue reading. And of course, it was the passage, and I was hungry, and you gave me to eat. And I was thirsty, and you gave me to drink. And I had no home, and you took me in. And the people said to Christ, Lord, when did we do this? And he said, when you did this to the least of my little ones, you did it unto me. So remember, in our service, to see past the form of the foolish, the wise, the ill, the decrepit, the diseased, and to just see the God in that person. We have a beautiful clinic up the road run by Dr. Peter and his wife Patricia. And in my estimation, those two people are saints. The constant service that they give to anyone in need. And Peter said, he was talking recently, and he said, whenever I need to take a break, and believe me, they work long, long hours and days, unrelentingly. He said, when I need to take a break, I go sit in the corner of the clinic and watch the rest of the staff being kind to others, and that's how I get rejuvenated. And so what are they doing? They're seeing the God in all those people that come in. And so for each of us in our service, remember ultimately, when we do it to the least of these little ones, we do it to God. And in that way, our service becomes a source of bringing light and God's presence into the world.